Yello, this is MDR. Today, it's been 31 years since Shah Rukh Khan first debuted in Indian cinema. 31 years ago, Deewana came out, and that movie completely changed everything, not just for Shah Rukh Khan, but for the landscape of Indian cinema. And today is also the 5th month anniversary of Shah Rukh Khan's comeback film, Pathaan, which once again changed everything, not just for Shah Rukh Khan, but for the landscape of Indian cinema once again. You know, it's that thing of history repeating itself, and those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Yeah, it is the kind of history I think it's alright to repeat. And it's hard to believe because the euphoria of Pathaan, the sheer magnitude of that film, was just something else. And you know, today I'd like to stress once again there were not many people who were rooting for Pathaan's success. Of course, Shah Rukh Khan's fans were one. But when it comes to outside of that, you know, the trade experts, the facilitators, the distributors, the producers, there was a lot of tension and stress when Pathaan was being released, and I feel like I was the only one who was just very determined and just very positive about the fact that, yeah, Pathaan's gonna succeed. And I felt like, am I the only one who thinks this? And for a moment there, I felt rather isolated and I felt rather irate about the fact that maybe I'm just rooting for something that will never happen. But then it did. And I saw it firsthand. I saw the film's first day, first show, and just the aura of that was just something else. I've put those clips up in so many episodes for the SRK Salman series in 2023. You can always go and check that out. But just to recap a little bit, what happened after the film's release? The film opened to amazing numbers. And people were so shocked. And it was because people were expecting this film to just completely bomb, and it didn't. And I was just sitting there thinking, you know, I'm just gonna sit back, let all these opportunists come and take Shah Rukh Khan's name and be like, this movie is a hit. What did you think? It's not gonna be a hit. It's Shah Rukh Khan. Yeah, those opportunists, right? But we'll see in the long run who sustains. But I was just sitting back and I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna let everybody talk about how good this is, how this was obviously gonna happen. Because time will tell that I was one of the maybe like 20 or 30 people outside of SRK's fan base who was just saying that, yeah, this movie's gonna work. Not a lot of people. I can only remember Manoj Desai Saab, who owns Gaiety Galaxy and Maratha Mandir. He was the only one I think that I can remember who was confidently saying that this movie is gonna work. He probably did an interview for Bollywood Hangama at the time, or somebody, I can't remember for sure. But he was the only one who was very confidently saying that this movie is gonna work. And I remember when Salman's Kisi Ka Bhai Kisi Ki Jaan came out 2-3 months down the line, he was not so sure that time. He was trying to make it sound like he was, but then he wasn't. And of course, he indirectly hinted that Salman should work with better directors. But that's besides the point. I'm not gonna take any credit away from Salman Khan for originating the YRF spy universe, because if it was not for Ek Tha Tiger's success, none of this would happen. War would not exist, Pathaan would not exist, and perhaps the landscape of Indian cinema, at least Hindi cinema, would be in turmoil right now, to be honest. Because if you actually look back, Pathaan is the only film this year that has been a clear-cut hit from the Hindi industry. The Kerala Story was a hit too, but it was very controversially hit. And when it comes to Adi Purush, you can't say anything about that. That movie is just... But you know what I mean. But Pathaan was a clear clear-cut success and nobody could do anything about it. And after Pathaan's success, if Shah Rukh Khan wanted, he could have put out Jawan like it was slated to for 2nd June 2023. But he did not do that because it was more important for him to do it right instead of just doing it. And that's the difference, between an actor like Shah Rukh Khan, who is really, really involved in his films. He just does not show up to the set, does his shots, and goes back home. He really just believes in his team, but also oversees everything. And especially now he has to do that because after Pathaan, the expectations from Jawan are very, very high. So the fact that he delayed it is actually, I think, a good thing. Because I feel like if Jawan had come out on 2nd June, it might have been too early for it to be releasing because Pathaan's euphoria is not ended yet. People are still talking about Pathaan. People are still, I am talking about Pathaan. So Jawan would have been too early, I feel. And if it was not going to be done right and rushed, then that would have been problematic as well. And the only reason that people are saying he's delayed Jawan is because there's some VFX work left. And it's good if they're spending more time on VFX because I felt like that was a slightly negative point in Pathaan. Perhaps the only one. Perhaps VFX was the only thing that let down the film. That's what Girly Detective Run said to me as well. And I just thought, yeah, that's true. And when I watched the film back home after it had come out on 22nd March 2023 on OTT, I actually looked at the film, I watched it in 4K, and I thought, this looked much better in the cinema. And that's when I realized that it's so true. If you have not seen RRR at the cinema, you just saw it at home, I'm really sorry, but you missed out on something extremely special. These films are made for the big screen. Watching them back at home, I remember so many people that I know coming up to me who had not watched Pathaan at the cinema because I don't know why. And then they came up to me once it had come out on Amazon and talking to me about, hey, this film was alright. It's not that great. I don't know why it's such a big success. It's not about the fact that it's a great film. It's about the fact that it's the right film. And sometimes films don't need to be that great if they just do right what they're setting out to do. And that is what Pathaan did. Pathaan is not the most exceptional film of all time. It's not a film that's going to win any Academy Awards, not that it needs to anyway. It's just a good film. It's a good time. It's a good time in the same sense Mission Impossible is a good time. Or Top Gun Maverick is a good time. It's a film full of conviction about what it's setting out to do. It does not have the world's greatest VFX, but it does have some of very, very good choreographed action scenes. And it has a lot of, conviction. And I remember seeing this round table with a lot of directors from this year or the year past, and they were talking about conviction. And I thought, whoa, alright. And at the end of that roundtable, I think Karan Johar was the one who said, the word to be taken from today, the lesson is conviction. And I remembered, hey, when I did that Jab Tak Hai Jaan analysis series, that was the first thing I said there. And so I thought, hey, I must be on the right track then. But yes, Pathaan is a good film. And 5 months later, it feels just as fresh. It's a weird sort of thing where I feel like it's been so long since the movie came out. And at the same time, I feel like, hey, feels like it just came out yesterday. And I guess that's the good thing about a memorable film. And I gotta say, Pathaan feels fresh because it's not like we're gonna not see Pathaan again for like 5 years or whatever. We're just gonna be seeing Pathaan in just a couple of months again. In Tiger 3. And that is a movie that I am personally the most excited about when it comes to Hindi cinema this year. Because it has 3 of my favorite Indian actors in that film. Shah Rukh Khan, Salman, and Imran Hashmi. And man oh man, isn't that going to be a joyride. But I think we have to still wait about 4.5 months for that film to come out. And that is Pathaan 5 months later. Still as fresh and still as popular. Just like Shah Rukh Khan, 31 years after his debut.